Well, it's Groundhog Day. Again?
Hello again everyone, and welcome to another of our videos in the Tosers series. We are traders, not tipsters. I hope you like the change in music. Just wanted to make it a bit time travel and how we look into the future on GSA. In this episode I discuss Timebands and show you a live example of a game earlier this morning in which we broke down a trade at halftime to see where the goals were and how we made it into an opportunity to trade the game. So we can look at a live game here at half time, which is quite interesting. 2-1 to Sapporo at Yokohama, and we have a high rating here for fourth goal, 16 sample rate. So in circumstances like this, the first thing you want to be doing is looking at what the price is offering. Well, you've got 100% reading, so it's a little bit difficult. 1.12 at half time for a further goal is low. It's unlikely to be above 1.6 around about 70 minutes, which is this kind of marker that I set for having potentially any value in the trade. But what's interesting about it, we can go and look at the time bands on this game and let's see where these goals appeared. So we have our 16 sample rate. I'm just going to tap in half time here and we'll go and find those. Okay, so we can see that 16 have had a further goal, quite encouraging. Let's go and look at where these goals appeared in these 16 games. Looking down here on the other popular time bands, we can see that there was quite a few high percentage of late goals, but also quite a thick cluster of goals early on. And just by a visual look on the time bands across here, you can see that probably about a 62.5% chance. So at the moment, it's not a price that's offered to us that we'd be interested in. Would we consider doing the over 4.5? Well, the price for that here currently is going to be low as well at 1.56. It's not a trade that really interests me. It does interest me in the fact that it's goals, but when I'm looking at the time band here, it looks good for a late goal, and probably would be one that I intended to revisit depending on this price. So when we look at the late goal time band, we can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 13 from 16 have had a goal, and that's a very high rate and definitely a trade you can consider worth doing. So once again, we can filter this down a little bit more. We can look at the time band of the last goal, which was early on, 18 minutes. So we're going to see a fairly low sample rate here of this scenario. In fact, we just got one, but I think in this case we can go by the halftime score and the 16 sample. That's good enough. The one sample that did occur like this finished 3-3 with 2 early goals. So you can see how we start to build a picture in our mind now of time bands. So let's see what happens with this game, and let's revisit it at 75 minutes. I do expect an early goal. When we look here, for example, if we were to count up, take off the time band now, go back to the 2-1 scenario, we can see that up until the 75th minute, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 75% of this game state scenario had a goal before 75. Let's see what happens. Okay, so you join us exactly on the 75th minute of the match. I was waiting for a price of 1.7, which I've decided to drip in 3 stages here. What's interesting to note now is that the 75% expectation of a goal before 75 hasn't materialised, 12 from 16. And we can see this very high density of late goals here. And we know that 16 from 16 have gone overs. That therefore gives me a heightened expectation now that that goal will occur late, and I'm happy to drip into the trade hoping for a late goal. The perceived value in the trade is difficult to explain because we are looking with 100%. Now nothing in life is 100% guaranteed except death, and probability, it's always a difficult one to deal with. But I've given myself every single chance here, I think, of getting that goal. I've been patient, I've waited for a price, and I've decided to drip in based on the time bands here and looking at this very high percentage of 81.25% in the last 10 minutes. Now, if we don't get the goal, that's just the way it is. That's just trading. But what I want you to understand is how we've approached this trade, how we've broken it down from halftime, and how we've given ourselves every possible opportunity to find that goal. If you follow this kind of methodical rules and find these good opportunities, I'm going to tell you about 7 out of 10 will land. You know, 2 or 3 might be discounted because there's been a more cluster of goals and then the sample size became too small and it was untradeable. But these opportunities do arise, and if you follow these rules, looking for these rich areas of goals, you will find them. So let's see what happens. Okay, so that was nice. We got the goal in the 89th minute, and a kind of textbook example really of how to use time bands. I'm just going to check here to see if I was matched. I wasn't matched on my final trade, but you know, we've shown now a perfect trade of how time banding works, and we got the late goal. Fantastic. We didn't quite get fully matched on the 3 drips, but certainly a nice return on that. There was so many positives in that trade. 16 from 16. We didn't get the early goal. There was a big cluster of late goals, and this is really how you want to be defining your time bands, filtering them down into those really good opportunities. If you want to know more about GSA, please click on the link in the description below the video, and don't forget, feel free to contact me on Twitter or YouTube and ask me any questions you like. If there's some videos or some stuff you'd like to see, I'm happy to do those. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.